Hello and welcome to First and 40, the most informative 40 minutes of football news out there. I'm Liamith.
And I'm Mehul. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
So, in today's episode, we're going to be covering around a total of 11 games. We're going to be covering 6 of Week Two's previous games, and we're going to be projecting the predictions and outcomes, or what to expect, if you will, for 5 games. So, do you want to hop on into it?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's start with Thursday Night Football, Giants and Washington football team. Uh, Lots of interesting things going on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, uh, Taylor Heineke putting on a performance. 34 for 46, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Terry McLaurin going off as well. 11 receptions, 107 yards, an average of 9.7 yards per catch, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I think it was really this game could have really gone either way. It was the Giants won to lose in the end, but yeah, I feel like the Giants really did everything they could in order to lose. But yeah, still a great game by Taylor Heineke. Don't really remember his stats. I know he went for over 300 yards, but
Yep.
coming in place for the injured Ryan Fitzpatrick, he did really good and really solid in this first game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of us are on that Taylor Heineke train now. I'm just wanting to see this guy
Yeah,
succeed. The true definition of an underdog story. I mean, cut by more than 4 teams in 4 years, and just to be able to come back and play, put on such a performance against the Buccaneers has showed him, been able to get him that contract, and now we see him proving his potential once again, and hopefully, the Washington football team will hopefully continue their success with Taylor Heineke as long as Ryan Fitzpatrick is unfortunately out.
yeah, I think especially watching him when he was with the Panthers when they played the Falcons in a few years ago. I don't remember which year it was, but he was pretty pretty rough in those games. Threw a lot of interceptions, made a lot of bad mistakes. But ever since him coming back in that playoff game against the Buccaneers, against that really good defense, he played outstanding in that game. So it's really good for him to get another chance to like to start this year and actually show what he can do. And on the Giants side of the ball, I think Daniel Jones was actually really good too. 249 yards, a touchdown, and he also ran for a good amount, 95 yards and a touchdown too. So I think really great game for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, just good effort by both sides. New York Giants unfortunately coming up 1 point short. Washington football team is about to continue. I mean, they came pretty close to the Chargers last week, so I feel like they might be doing so all right.
Yeah, I think the defense isn't really as good as it, the expectations were, especially like
Mm-hmm.
giving up a lot of points to the Giants and like just a lot of lots of too many explosive plays for what I think the Washington defense was expected to be. But Taylor Heineke bailed him out, and yeah, I think if they want to be able to be competitive, especially in the playoffs, that defense definitely needs to step up a little more.
Yeah, and like Washington football team, props to them for being able to come back with the New York Giants collapse. And yeah,
Yep, let's move on to the next one. Which one was it? Uh,
Vikings
Rams.
Cardinals.
That works too.
Sorry, um, but yeah, Vikings Cardinals. This game was a game that I had my eye on the entirety of Sunday. I don't know if you did too, but it was an
Yeah, I know,
interesting game. Um, I
especially since I'm really on the Kyler Murray hype train since a few months ago. So I've definitely wanted to spend some time and watch each a little bit of his games, and he was outstanding once again. And even though he
completely
threw 2 interceptions, what were his stats? Let me pull those up. 400 yards,
29 for
and
36, 3 touchdowns.
I'm telling you, man, he's actually something special, and he has a really good chance to win MVP this year. And yeah, I mean, they did. They got bailed out again at the end. To be honest, Vikings had the game in
Vikings
their hands.
kickers. My
Yeah,
oh my, is that a curse?
it really sucks to see. I don't even. You always hate to see kickers, like especially with like pretty relatively easy kick right there, you to miss it, especially in
Yeah.
such a high stake,
I
really
mean,
important part of the game, like the most important part of the game right there.
at least it wasn't back
Really
with
sucks to see.
Dan Bailey's a couple years ago in Seattle. I mean
No, no, it
that
wasn't
was
Dan Bailey.
something else.
It was what's his
It
name?
was it not?
No, it wasn't. It was
Kai
Blair
Fulton.
Walsh. Blair
Oh,
Walsh.
there's so many Vikings kickers. Blair Walsh,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the one who threw away a playoff run on a 27-yard field goal.
I still remember watching that live. It was the funniest thing ever.
But yeah, I
But
mean, sorry, go
going
ahead.
back to Kirk Cousins, he did pretty good too. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. Even he's, I mean, the Vikings really did. Obviously, they were within 1 point, so obviously they did good. But it sucks that they have to start 0-2 already, even after playing
Yeah.
such a great game.
Yeah, I mean this we were on this Minnesota Vikings hype train in early on in the off season about Kirk Cousins, but I mean they don't seem like a bad team, but unfortunately they've just not been able to finish. I mean this game particularly wasn't their fault, but due to their kicker obviously choking, but
Yeah, I think there's still a long way to go, and looking at it right now, their division isn't looking incredibly tough. I think Packers, the Packers like the only, obviously, there's nobody else in that division to be honest, but like the Packers are the only competition that they have in the division. So I think if they can, who do they have next week?
they
Um,
have the
Seahawks, Browns, Lions. I think if they play as good as
those
they
are
did
close.
today, and maybe the luck turns to their side in one of these few games, I think they can go on a decent run these next couple weeks. And if they can piece together some victories, they can definitely make a run for that, um, for the division title. If even though Green Bay played great today, if they start like slacking off, they did against Week 1, that was horrible. So like yeah, you never know what could happen. It's only week 2, long way to go, and yeah, Minnesota could really make a push for. I still think they can have a chance to win the division, but you just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. Um I mean that's one division battle that we thought was going to be a landslide towards either the Packers or the Vikings, and right now
Yeah,
it
I think
seemed,
just depending on if Aaron Rodgers came or stayed, but
yeah.
obviously he's here. So
But still, I mean, that performance week one with the Packers was something else, man.
yeah, I
Like
mean
that.
they it's week 1. Lots of crazy things always happen week 1. Remember Jags winning and then lost 15 straight last year, so you can't really define a team based off of their week 1 performance.
But like, it wasn't
And
like any tiny week one performance, you know? It was like
that's
something
true.
significant.
I'm pretty sure
And
it was like Packers' worst loss in the Aaron Rodgers era. So
yeah, it was. It was the first time that he's started and played through the entire game, and they've lost by that large of a margin. So, yeah, and I mean the thing is the like even in today's game, this is Monday the 20th as we're recording this, by the way.
21st or
Like,
20th.
yeah,
Sorry. Oh yeah.
you're good. But the Packers weren't looking too hot. I mean, it was a close game until the end. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's why I picked the Lions to win. So because I like the way they played towards the end of um last they literally could have won the game against the 49ers last week. And the Packers did not look great in week 1. That's why I picked the Lions to win, and
and
unfortunately it didn't
yeah,
end well, but if you look at the first half, they were pretty much going stride for side with the Packers.
yeah.
And if you take away a few mistakes that they made in the third quarter, it's a completely different game that we're looking at here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but we'll have to see for um only time will tell.
Yep. All right. Let's. Anything else
Titans?
you have for this game? Oh,
Nope.
one thing I wanted to mention: Rondale Moore. Holy crap! He's. I'm surprised that he's getting so many targets week 1. Especially, I thought he would have more of a breakout year next year since like I don't expect Christian Kirk to be on the Viking or Cardinals next year, so he's going to be into that like wide receiver 2 role. But he's been a target machine these past few weeks, getting up for 77-yard touchdown this week. I mean,
You said it
I
week
didn't.
one preseason though. You called it. You're like, I like Rondo more. He seems like a promising career player, and he's already been able to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him to do so great so early. I mean, this looks fantastic for him, and especially in just I'm waiting for next year once AJ Green and Christian Kirk are most likely going to leave. He has a great future ahead of him, especially getting 114 receiving yards. I think maybe one or two touchdowns. I don't know how many he had, but yeah, I think that was really promising performance for him.
Yeah, I mean, Cardinals looking like a pretty hot team right now, 2-0. Um, like good good play on both sides of the ball right now.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
I think that main thing is that Kyler Murray, he's been unstoppable. I mean, the way that he's able to create plays is like it's literally a combination of all the great elusive quarterbacks that we've seen thus far. And like Jalen Hurts proved it. Deshaun Watson. I mean, the list goes on and on. Just like you see a culmination of the insane, like his pocket presence, his accuracy, his ability to create plays is what's leading him to success, and it's astounding to see.
Yeah, and especially for being one of the shorter quarterbacks, and that's that
Yeah,
was literally his main concern coming out of college. And it's tough being 5'10" and being a quarterback, not being able to barely see over the offensive line, and he's literally tearing it up out there, and it's
yeah.
really good to see because especially after his first years, and everybody was like, "Oh man, he should have won Rookie of the Year. Josh Jacobs should have won," and really kind of criticized, especially because of that. And it's not really his fault though, but obviously, but like it's really good to really good to see this from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have around 4 games to go through, so let's keep the
Probably
ball
best.
rolling. Let's go to Titans Seahawks if you want to talk about that. An overtime game where Julio Jones' touchdown did not count. Had a monster game though. So did Derrick
Touchdown.
Henry.
I don't know what anyone says. That was easily a
That
touchdown.
was by far the like as much as I don't want to admit it because it was the Titans touchdown and he's not with us anymore, it was a touchdown. Like that was clear as day. I do not know how that was overturned. I do not know what was going through their mind, but they
Yeah,
still
I don't
won.
know.
So,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Derrick Henry, jeez. After
I'm gonna
that,
admit I was wrong about Derrick Henry. I thought he would
oh my
slow down a
god,
little bit.
oh
You never
my
know. It's still
god.
week 2. This might be an
After that
outlier. I think
week,
it will be an outlier. But
but you could say that about week one.
yeah, that's true. I'm not sold on Derrick Henry. I'm not. I've never really been the biggest fan of him, even after last year. But that was really good. I can't deny that that was a fantastic game that he had.
Dude, you can't. I mean, it's 180 yards. like,
Yeah,
jeez. Like,
182 yards, and like literally all of those were in the second half.
three
It was-
touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill going off as well. 350, 27 for 40. But
yeah, after even coming down from a 21-3 deficit, that was
was it
really a
21 to
tale of two
3?
stories between the two halves.
I'm not sure if it was. I think it was 24 to 9, right? Is it the same thing?
24.
I think it was 24
That's
to
probably
9.
right.
Yeah, it was 24
Oh,
to
yeah,
9.
sorry, 24-9. I mixed up the numbers here.
Nah, you're good. But yeah, I mean, monster game from that Titans offense. Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Oh my God, he's the savior of my fantasy team. Like for the past 2 weeks, I've been winning because of him. 8 for 178 yards and 1 touchdown.
I
Like
mean, yeah, that was good. This is one of the guys that I'm not really sold on again. Probably won't going to be very inconsistent like it was last year, but
we'll
yeah,
see, man.
two.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Whatever. I might be wrong, but it's just what I think,
I hope you're wrong.
obviously. But yeah, I think it was great. Great game from 63-yard touchdown. 178 yards, 8 catches. Yeah, I mean, great first 2 weeks for him. So that's all I'm going to say for now.
But yeah, I mean, Julio Jones had Julio Jones is one of the most inconsistent players since he's been injury prone, and This
Yeah, I feel like
game
he's
has
been
just been
questionable.
proving
He's been questionable for like
it.
5 years.
For so long. I
Every
mean,
time fantasy, I see that Q next to his name. I'm like,
exactly.
wow,
It's
nice.
like he's just too injury prone, and it's not even that. Like when he does play, it's not necessary. Like even if he's at the top of his game, even if he's healthy, he's not like guaranteed to have a good
When was
game.
the last time you think he was 100% healthy?
2016,
I don't know. He wasn't even healthy that whole year. He had that stupid turf toe
dude.
thing.
Jeez. When he was drafted, then I don't know, man. It's been a while.
He didn't even play
He had
most of
his
the year he was
ankle.
drafted.
Like he had his what is it? He literally ran the 40 when he was injured.
Maybe 2017? I don't know. I'm trying to
Bro,
no,
that's
2018 maybe? I don't know.
it's been a
I don't know.
while though. It's been a while.
Whatever.
But yeah, I think 2015 he had 1800 yards. That was his um
Uh,
highest year of
Whatever.
play, I guess.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, I mean, he's injury prone. He's kind of like the most inconsistent wide receiver in fantasy, arguably. Like in terms of like upside, like in terms of ceiling, he's probably like up there in terms of like lowest floor and highest ceiling type
I
player.
wouldn't say inconsistent. I just say more underwhelming, because like he's constantly expected to
Mm,
do good. But when
eh,
was the last time he had a really good fantasy game? Probably like 2 years ago.
yeah, I
So
guess. I
I don't know.
understand that, but or you're saying like because he's so hyped up, it's like any performance like besides like phenomenal is bad.
Yeah, I think like he always has an expectation to get over 20 points per game. Fantasy, obviously. But like,
But like not like okay, disregarding fantasy, like the fact that he has like even going back to last year, I mean he had like what like 30 yards a game, and then he had like 150. Like it was that was probably an over exaggeration, but like it was a lot and a lot of like inconsistent. I mean last week he was 3 for 29, and then this week he has double the catches and like 5 times as many yards. Like
yeah, makes sense.
you get
Whatever,
what I
enough about
mean?
Julio.
Yeah, man. You can talk about the whole 40 minutes about him.
Game-winning field goal. Who was it? Reggie, not Reggie Bullock. What's his name? Whatever. Game-winning field goal for the Titans. Great comeback for them. And yes, let's move on to the next game. Which one is it?
Chiefs Ravens. Oof.
Chiefs Ravens.
Sunday night.
I still remember watching that game. Obviously, it was yesterday, but I think that was. It's great to see the Ravens finally beat the Chiefs. That's pretty fun
Yeah,
though.
in his 4 matchups, in Lamar Jackson's 4 matchups, this is the first time he's ever beat him. And I think two
And
of the other times he's
Patrick
gotten
Mahomes'
close.
first loss in September.
Yeah,
That's pretty
they
interesting.
jinxed it. CBS Sports posted a graphic specifically. I remember this. They're like, Patrick Mahomes has never lost. They might as well rename September to Patrick Mahomes month. And then he lost. So.
I mean, they literally had the game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gave it away.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it was good
true.
defensive play, dude. And it wasn't really him, but
It
like,
was a good game overall.
you always have to be more protective of the ball in those types of scenarios.
Yeah, and I
So
mean, Lamar Jackson also had a good game. You can't like really deny that.
yeah,
He's
a really
always had.
really rough start for him. Two really
Yeah,
quick
very,
interceptions.
very. Tyrann Mathieu went off though. Tyrann
I mean,
Mathieu had 34
wow.
points.
I mean, other than the pick six, what did he do?
He had 2 interceptions. I mean, it's like 2 interceptions is a lot. Let's
That's
be
true.
real.
That's
Like,
true. I mean, a pick six in any game is really good. So other than like the two,
and they
what's
were
this guy?
both in the first half. I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah, they were.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, Travis Kelce, 46-yard touchdown. I remember watching that because I was playing against him in fantasy. I'm like, what is that defense doing? Baltimore
uh,
defense is like just they just let him go into the end zone.
yeah.
It was pretty funny.
Marquise Brown has been doing pretty well. I mean,
Yeah, he had a
there was that one miscommunication error which caused that like 60-yard touchdown or whatever, but even disregarding that, like he's still been a pretty good receiver. He had a couple like long distance plays like deep down the field, but
yeah. There's that jump pass one from what's his name,
it,
Lamar Jackson. How did I
But
forget his name?
yeah, that was the one where they had the miscommunication where the two corners came up on that one receiver and they went deep. But I don't think that
Oh
was
no, yeah, the safety came up.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I
And
remember.
then they
I know what
both were
you're talking about.
covering that one wide receiver and he was wide
Yeah,
open in the back of the field. But yeah,
it was a really good game to be honest. Great comeback for the Ravens. They were down, not a lot, but like they were down at least like 2 scores
yeah,
towards the third quarter. But
yeah,
what were you
and
saying?
Tyreek Hill didn't have a good game. Like they couldn't get their passing game going. Besides,
I mean, they were
like they
doubling him the whole game, so it was really great defense from the Ravens.
they
And they
play
just,
smart.
I mean, they literally have such a good offense. They just gave it to Kelsey every
Yeah,
single play. So,
I mean Patrick Mahomes still didn't do bad with that. I mean he nearly had 100 yards more than Lamar Jackson passing.
I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's true. But like the fact that they still lost by, even though that he had 100 more yards passing. But then again, Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson is a scrambling quarterback, so he had 100 yards rushing. Yeah, and two
It
touchdowns.
was a lot of really silly mistakes, especially I think at the end of the half, giving the Ravens that field goal.
Mhm. Yeah,
That I
leaving
don't
too
know
much
what they were
time on the
doing.
clock. Yeah, that was kind
Not
of
even
dumb.
they're not even giving him too much time. They just gave him two really easy long completions. After they scored a touchdown at the very end of the half, the Chiefs did with a little bit time left, and then they really gave the Ravens. They literally gave them that field goal. Two easy completions they gave them, and set him up for pretty. It's Justin Tucker. It's literally one of the greatest kickers of all time. You can't really.
Pretty much automatic.
Yeah. So obviously that was ended up being one of the differences in the game. 3 points, but yeah, you can't really have those giving away just a field goal, even though if you're up towards the end of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, good game over there. If you want, we can move on to Rams and the Colts.
Yes, let's go ahead.
So, Rams Colts. Hold on, let me pull up the stats for that real quick. What's it? Dude, all the games look the same to me anymore. Matthew Stafford, 19 for 30, 278 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. And on the Colts side, Michael Pittman Jr., the second-year wide receiver, went completely off. This is a guy that I've had my eye on as soon as he entered the league. I always knew that he had that potential, and it was great to see him go off.
Because you watch him on YouTube.
Very satisfying. Yes, that too. But yeah, I mean, he's on my fantasy too. Like I drafted him before I even knew who he was.
Yeah, he did a pretty good game. I think it was like 163 yards or something. Or no, that
No,
was
that was
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup. Yeah, Cooper Cup also went off.
Oh boy, Stafford and Cooper Cup. That's looking to be a great duo.
Yeah, Stafford in
Sucks
this.
for Robert Woods though. He's just chilling there.
I mean, not a bad game. 60 yards ain't bad.
I know, but like after all the targets he got last year and all the people that drafted him above Cooper Cup and drafted him really high, it sucks to see that he's not really getting that many targets. But it's okay. It's great to see Cooper Cup
At
because
least
like
they're
I feel like I got a
diversifying,
notification every second. Big play Cooper Cup. Big play Cooper
right?
Cup. 9
Yeah,
receptions, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's
yeah.
fantastic to see.
I mean, one thing that I'm kind of concerned about right now. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, he did all right last week, but this week he didn't do well. Didn't do that well. But then again, he's going against the Rams' defensive line, so
I mean, I'm not surprised Jonathan Taylor's
struggling.
underperforming. He had really big expectations for absolutely no reason, especially because they have Naeem Hines, Marlon Mack. You can't have two really good running backs and not expect them to take touches from the number one guy, no matter how good the number one guy is. It's just like,
But they gave him 15 carries. They gave Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines a total of 6. I mean, it's not a lot, but like he still should be producing much
and I
more.
think another part of it was they were down pretty much the entire game, so it pretty much led to a lot of passing downs, and you can't really basically just don't really run the ball when you're down so much, and it pretty much worked. They almost came back, almost won the game, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not because Jonathan Taylor had really huge expectations coming out of the year for absolutely no reason, even though he ended the season really well. But
Mhm.
Yeah, basically the reason I said Marlon Mack and Naeem Hines.
Yeah. Um, I honestly like this diverse of shoot. Who was it who got injured? Yeah, Cam Akers on the Rams. Like they kind of like had even carries between Henderson and Michelle, and it was pretty nice to see. Could keep it going. A total of 100 yards between them two. Ain't a lot, but like ain't a little either. Still had a decent run game going for the Rams. I
I
mean,
think I'll always be wondering how this Rams offense would have been with Cam Akers.
yeah,
This is literally one of the most exciting teams most one of the teams I was most excited about coming into this year, especially with Cam Akers. I was really high on him, expected him to do fantastic. Sucks to see, especially he didn't even really get to show his full potential, and probably never will, which really sucks, especially because you can't really come back from an Achilles injury, especially as a running back where you really rely on that explosiveness from there. But hopefully he'll be able to somewhat come back to his uh, rookie form.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Injuries are one thing that like they can ruin your career, but they can also make others have an opportunity to take that chance and seize the day. But
I know you
we'll
didn't
see.
just quote the Bengals, bro.
uh, do you wanna do Cowboys Chargers?
Yeah, go ahead. How many do we have left?
One. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Cowboys Chargers. I love this Cowboys team right now. I absolutely love this Cowboys team.
Dang. Copying me. I said that last week.
Okay, but like, I also like didn't believe you until they played the Chargers.
Well, now you know.
You were
Cowboys are
right.
legit.
You were right. I mean, this team they did good in the first half of the season last year, and like we all knew they were alright, right? But this year they seem much better than they were in the first half of the season, and that's saying something. Considering the fact that they put up a pretty close game against the Seahawks last year, and the Seahawks went on to play in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure, did they not?
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
lost to in the first round.
but like still, I mean, they put up a good fight in the first half, and now Dak Prescott's back. Only four incompletions with 27 attempts, 237 yards, zero touchdowns, unfortunately, but one interception. And Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott are kind of splitting carries right now and snaps, which is kind of bad for fantasy owners, but good in terms of diversifying the offense. They had a pretty even passing game and running game. And CD Lamb also did good. Amari Cooper not getting that many targets, only 3 receptions for 24 yards. CD Lamb 8 for 81 yards. And Justin Herbert absolutely mortifying the Cowboys defense, even though he had 2 interceptions. 31 for 41, 338 yards, one touchdown. And Keenan Allen also going off. So just a lot of good here from the Cowboys.
Yeah, even though it was pretty low scoring, lots of, I'd say, positive offensive things and positive defensive things. DeMonte Casey getting a interception in the red zone. Love to see that after his injury from last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him performing better than he did. I mean, everyone was completely devastated with his injury last year, and hopefully he will be able to prove himself. And as you said last week, that why is everyone so high on the Washington football team? I mean, now I feel like maybe this might be a hot take, but maybe even the Eagles are in that conversation. Um,
I
yeah.
wouldn't get too carried away by the Eagles. They played the Falcons week one.
Okay,
I
but
know it was a
like
good win, but the Falcons are not good. They won't.
it's not even the Falcons defense, cuz we applied pressure. Like we spoke about this last game or last week, that we applied pressure. Like there was that one blitz. Jalen Hurts was simply just able to create plays, and there's nothing you can do about that.
I guess, but I still think the Cowboys and Washington are the two teams to beat in the division. And until anyone else, the Giants or Eagles, can actually, until I see something that by see something, I mean like beat or almost beat a team that's actually a really good contender, like obviously a playoff team, obviously. So I think until they can really show that, I think the Cowboys or the Washington is definitely going to be one of the two teams in the end fighting for the division. I don't see anyone else in that division getting close. Maybe the Giants, but I think the Giants and the Eagles are really on similar tiers right now.
Are we? Do you want to like just keep continuing with this and talk about next week with the Cowboys or and Eagles, or are you like still wanting to talk about the Chargers?
Yeah, let's just move on to next week.
All
Cowboys
right.
Eagles.
So this game. Okay, let's throw a hypothetical situation out here. If the Eagles beat the Cowboys by more than 10 points, do you think that the Eagles have a chance at winning the division?
Obviously.
Okay.
Well, that's an if. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, then yes, they do.
Okay, what do you think the score will be? This is where we're gonna get into our predictions. The first predictions of the season of the podcast. Let's hear it. Score,
Like,
just roughly.
huh. Let me think.
Take your time.
Score prediction. I'm trying to think. I don't want to make it too high scoring or too low scoring either.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine out there.
All right, go ahead.
Even though I want the Eagles to win, I'm gonna say Cowboys are gonna win by a margin of 14. It's gonna be 34-20. Cowboys take it. Eagles are gonna like just slowly heat up in the second half, but they're gonna struggle in the first half offensively.
I think that works. I don't think it'll be that high scoring. It's a divisional game. Those are always really slow and uh, pretty much. I think it'll be around. I don't want to give either team to any point. I'll say 24-20. Cowboys win.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, like, sort of like realistically though, like, kind of elevated the Cowboys with like Dak Prescott and stuff. So, I mean, the Eagles weren't able to stop that run game with us like for the first few drives, and we know that. And the Cowboys have Ezekiel Elliott, so they also have a
Yeah.
scrambling quarterback.
Even last week, Philadelphia should have won. So they were pretty close to winning against the Niners. Especially the one where I think Jalen Rager he stepped out of bounds on that touchdown. And on fourth down, I think they tried to do some Philly special thing again. They messed up. So two plays away from even one of those. Even if one of those went their way, they would have won the game. So yeah, I mean, now thinking about it, Eagles aren't even that as bad as I thought, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a divisional game. Can't really expect what's going to happen. Divisional games are always really unexpected and can't really tell. Hard to predict. So hopefully it'll be a good game. What is it? Sunday night or
Monday
Monday night?
night. Monday night.
Monday night.
Um, I mean, speaking of the 49ers, do you want to go into Packers and Niners?
Packers and Niners. Um, I generally don't know what to think about this game. Two really confusing teams for me.
I feel like right now it's so early on in the season that any take that you take could either be a very good take or a very bad take. There's no in between. Because it's like there's such a small amount of like sample data to choose from right now. Because like there was a lot of shockers week one that we did not expect in the first place, right? We did
I
not
know.
expect. Do you know what I mean?
The main one being the Texans and the Jaguars, but
Not only that, like the Saints and Packers, no one expected that.
yeah, it's
Like
true. But
it's just like this culmination of events is like misleading. It's like one's going this way, one's going the other way, so you don't know what to do. That's the
mhm.
point of being here, though. So let's talk about it. Packers Niners. So Packers offensively, I think they're gonna be fine. I think defensively they're gonna struggle significantly. Kevin King, as we all know, infamously, um, when he
He
played
needs to get
against,
cut. Even today, he did horrible.
and he literally
Give
got
him
an
two big
extension
plays.
after the playoff game, after the NFC Championship game, which was kind of confusing. But
Even last week, he did horrible. I don't even know why he's still on their team.
why is he still
Whatever.
playing? Who knows? Um, but yeah, I mean, 49ers, I don't really know like much about like I haven't been keeping up with the 49ers. I know that Trey Lance is like sometimes coming in. He came in week 1. I don't think he came in
No,
week
he didn't play
2.
last week. He didn't
Yeah.
play last week. But
I
yeah, he
think
came in one play last week and got a touchdown.
yeah, I saw there was like a 5-yard out route on the tight end or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think right now my prediction is that the 49ers are going to win this game. Actually, I think the 49ers are going to choke. I feel like they're going to be overconfident heading into this game, and I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to come by and not take them by storm, but like a 10-ish or 10 or lower margin is what's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a landslide by any means. I think Packers are going to beat them by 7. We'll keep it simple. I think it's going to be 17 to 10. That's too low.
I
Let's say
think it makes sense.
let's say 24-17. 24-17 Packers win it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the Niners are going to win. Didn't really seem, even from today, Packers don't really look like the team that they should be. And yeah, both teams are pretty much unconvincing, especially last week against the Eagles. I still think the Niners will be able to pull it off, but I trust the Niners defense more than I do the Packers offense. I think that's the main reason. So I'm going to take the 49ers 28-23.
Interesting take. I mean, 49ers defense was always good. I don't know how they're doing this season, but I know they did good under Robert Saleh, but I don't know how they're doing without him. Are they doing good?
They did for the most part. Last week, obviously, they held them to 11 points, and other than the fourth quarter against the Lions, 17 points. So they're doing pretty good so far.
Interesting to see. Did the 49ers lose week 1? Oh no,
They won both.
They won
They won
both.
both.
Okay.
They're 2-0. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's very, very confusing right now. Let's go on to Bucs Rams. That's an interesting matchup.
Gonna be a great game.
Yeah. Personally, I think the Buccaneers are gonna win this by 7 points. Because simply their offense is just toss it to Gronk. Like, it was absurd the amount of yards he's able to get, and I mean, we've seen it time and time again. It's just like, why, you know?
Yeah, I think this will definitely be a really high-scoring game.
It's like, yeah.
I think the Rams have the advantage though.
I do agree with that due to the fact that the Buccaneers,
Didn't you just say
run
the
defense.
Rams Buccaneers are gonna win?
No, I didn't. I said the Buccaneers are. Oh shoot. Hold on.
It's
No,
okay.
no, no.
I'll let you change your pick.
No,
I know
no,
you like
no.
copying me.
No, the Rams have the Bucks are still gonna win, but the Rams have the advantage in terms of like, um, shoot, exploiting defense. Actually,
I
wait, but
mean, yeah.
like,
How do you not have a good defense when you have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on your team? How did that even
no,
happen?
no, because
How did?
like, no, I'm saying because like the Rams are more of a pass-heavy offense,
Oh, okay. Well,
and
obviously, yeah.
the Buccaneers are mainly like run defense,
Yeah,
and
I'm not sold on the Buccaneers defense. Um, I'm pretty sure I said something good about them a few minutes ago, but whatever. Uh,
dude,
giving up,
everything's so confusing this week.
not even that, but like giving up a lot of points and a lot of passing yards to the Cowboys week 1, even though they're a good offense. And last week against the Falcons, other than, I mean, if you take out the Falcons' horrible offensive line, the Falcons generally did pretty decent. I'm being optimistic here, but they did decent if against that Buccaneers defense. And considering how the expectations, I don't even know where the Buccaneers defense, like the expectations for the defense came from. It's not even that good of it, like good in like quotation marks.
They
They were a good
were
defense, obviously, but
they were ranked best or second best in rush defense for 2 years ago or something like that.
Rush defense makes sense. Okay. I mean,
I
like they have
don't think
Ndamukong
I don't
Suh,
think
Jason
they're.
Pierre-Paul,
I
Devin
think
White,
they
Levante
also have
David.
they have a really good linebacker depth.
Their secondary is pretty average. I'd say cornerback,
Yeah,
especially
I
when
don't think
Sean
their
Murphy
secondary.
bunting out.
Yeah, I don't think their secondary is anything over the top. It's
I know
mainly
they have Antoine Winfield, Carlton Davis,
yeah.
the guy whoever got 2 pick sixes last week, Edwards,
Um,
Mike
yeah,
Edwards.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
We'll see, we'll see.
I
That's
still
a
think the Rams just win this game, 31-27.
is that a prime time game? It's not,
Ye-
dude. That should have been a
Is it
prime time
not?
game. That should have
It
been a
should
prime
be
time.
Sunday night.
No, it's
Is it
Sunday.
not Sunday
It's
night?
Sunday afternoon, 4:25 Eastern
Oh, so
time.
then it's probably a game of the week.
Yeah, it should have been prime time though.
Should-
But
Why'd they put Eagles and Bucks or Eagles and Cowboys
yeah, that was.
Monday night?
But it's a divisional game, so.
Whatever. Who cares?
Seahawks.
Rams won this matchup last year, right?
Yeah, I think so. Cause I think what is it? The Buccaneers went 13
Oh, this is when the Buccaneers were falling apart. Everybody's like, "Oh no, Bucks are bad," and then they just went on a run.
I think they're right, bro. I can't see last year's. Whatever. I think they did beat them, but yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
Buccaneers.
Bucks were actually crazy. They were 7-5, I'm pretty sure at one point. Then they won. Let me do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They won 8 straight games, counting the playoffs. That's
Let's
insane.
see.
Since
Oh, it
falling
didn't
from
show
7 and
last
5.
year. I was gonna see last year's games, but yeah. I mean, Tom Brady is just like he's Tom Brady. There's nothing you can do about it.
Which game we do now?
Seahawks, Vikings, and then Colts, Titans, and yeah. So Seahawks, Vikings. This is gonna be a landslide in favor of the Seahawks. Win by 14. I'm gonna
Come
say-
on.
Dude. I don't like the Vikings right now. I don't like them.
Why? Give me a good reason why you don't like them.
They lost to the Broncos. In the
Okay.
preseason. Oh, wait, did they
Who
lose
cares
to
about
them in the
preseason?
season?
I know
They
you
lose
didn't
this
just
year.
I didn't know you didn't just use preseason.
They
as an-
lost
as-
to the
as an
Bengals,
argument.
bro. They lost to the Bengals.
Oh, okay. You said Broncos.
Yeah,
So
that's because I remember when Mike Zimmer went off his team because they lost to the Broncos in the preseason. But
Okay.
besides the point, they lost to the Bengals. How do you expect them to keep up with the Seahawks? Okay, I get it. That was a close game, but still, it's the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals have been doing all right, but still, bro, like,
okay.
I don't know. Seahawks have just been showing more promise to me. They put up a lot of points, and
Even after that choke last week.
it's one game.
Okay, so the Bengals lost is just one game.
Okay, but they also lost the. Okay, but that was because they're kicked. But still, like.
I'm literally just using. I'm literally used zero argument, and I literally just.
No,
use your
but the thing
argument
is, Seahawks have a history of being consistent. Vikings don't. Seahawks have
Okay, so
Seahawks have
choking in the
consistency.
fourth quarter is consistent, right?
No, I'm talking about like legacy wise. I'm saying for the past like
Legacy, nice.
what?
No, I'm.
What?
Your argument is making no sense. I mean, Seahawks might win, but I
Let's
still
say-
think the Vikings
okay.
will upset.
Let me rephrase my argument. Russell Wilson legacy
Okay.
win 5
Okay.
to 7 years
You're
ago.
done.
That should be 5 words that should tell you exactly why the Seahawks are going to win. And it's not even that. The Seahawks have been, like, they are an insane freaking offense. I mean, the weapons they have are simply, like come on. It's Tyler Lockett went for 200 yards last week. 200
Okay.
yards. And they still have DK Metcalf. He went for 50.
Can't believe you're using weapons as an example when the Vikings literally have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. I mean, the offenses I feel are pretty matched here. It's going to come down to the defense, and I feel the Vikings definitely have the better defense.
Okay, we're talking about Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Both of them had less than, like, 70 yards receiving last week.
Wow. Okay. So let me do this. Give me a second. I need to search something up.
KJ Osborne had more.
You're gonna regret that you just said that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. So right now, Rondale Moore, 82 receiving yards on the year. Well, let me just use game because you use game as your argument. 114 receiving yards in the last week, okay?
Okay.
Or this last game yesterday, okay?
Mhm.
Calvin Ridley, 63 receiving yards. So Rondale Moore's better than Calvin Ridley, right?
Did you? Okay.
Right? That's what you just said.
You're right.
Okay.
But
But what?
Rondale Moore is a completely different situation than Calvin Ridley.
How? Tell me.
Calvin Ridley is wide receiver 1. Rondale Moore is not expected to be wide receiver 1.
Okay.
So he's not going to get covered by the top corner every week.
Wow.
And he's also... Calvin Ridley is also targeted less than Rondale Moore is.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense if you explain that Rondale Moore has more yards than Calvin Ridley.
I mean, if you're the best wide receiver on your team, shouldn't you be the targeted the most?
That's not... Okay.
I mean, I literally just use your argument against you. You can't really use yards from 2 weeks, 2 weeks into the season. You can't
But
use
if
yards
it's
or any stats
dominant...
in general. You can use any stats in general within first 2 weeks to like use it to help you. It makes no sense. Like Derek
But
Carr is
if
at
it's
least
to a
second in the league
dominant
passing yards.
amount... If it's to a dominant amount, then it can. Like... Okay. Like... You can't expect me to say after 2 weeks of 180 yards and then the week before that having 3 touchdowns for like 50 yards plus. That's not something that's regular.
I'm
That's
sorry,
not
can you say that again? I wasn't listening.
like if someone has 180 yards receiving in week 2, right?
Okay.
And then the week before that he had like 3 touchdowns, like 2 of them were 50 yards plus. You can't
Okay.
expect them to have such a steep drop off right there. Like, obviously it
I'm not
happens.
saying he's going to drop off. I'm not saying anything about him dropping off. I'm just saying, like, you can't assume that Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen are worse just because they don't have as many yards as DK Metcalf and
No, I never
Tyler
said they're worse. I never said they're worse. I said they might not perform as well.
Boyd. Okay. I guess we just got to wait and see. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, you want to move on to our last game?
All
We're
right.
around 3 minutes left. Titans, Colts.
Titans, Colts. I generally don't know what to think of this game. This looks. I mean,
I'm gonna call it out
it
right
should
now.
be obvious, but I want it not to be obvious because I really like the Colts.
I'm calling it out right now. I'm gonna get this on the dot. Okay?
I want to pick the Colts so bad, but Carson Wentz is not looking that great.
I'm calling the exact score out right now. Ready?
All right, I want to hear this.
Tennessee Titans. 41
Wow.
points.
41. Okay.
Indianapolis Colts. 34 points.
Okay.
It's a high-scoring game, but you also have high-scoring offenses. You also have very dynamic offenses. I mean,
I don't really see how the Colts have a dynamic offense, but sure.
okay, like, this prediction is based off of the fact that I'm hoping that Jonathan Taylor will perform better this week. And Michael Pittman continues to perform how he did last week.
You can hope for 15 more weeks and it won't come. Trust.
We'll see. That's probably a very...
He might have 1 or 2 decent games in there, but he won't be that consistent. especially. I mean, whatever. That's a different story. I think I'm going to take Titans too, but a lot less scoring, 27-20.
That's reasonable. But in my personal opinion, it's gonna be shutout from both sides. It's gonna be shootout.
Shootout. I thought you said shutout. I'm
I
like,
did.
40 points is not a shutout.
I said shutout, but like shutout is in terms of like their defenses will be shut out from the offense. Like they'll be off the field.
And that'd be a fun game. I like offense. Offense is always fun.
Offense is so fun to watch. I mean, yeah. Well, that's
Anything
all we
else to add?
have for this week. I don't think we have anything else, right?
No, I think a lot of great games this week. Hopefully, I mean, a lot of great games this week. I didn't even realize the Titans won. Not the Titans won. Yeah, the Titans won. A lot of them came down to the wire, and hopefully we have a lot of great games in the future.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. This was week 2 predictions of week 3 game. We hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and anything else, Mehul?
Vikings on top. See you guys next week.